How do you keep composure and rhythm in the game? That's a good question. I think that composure is something that you have to practice. I think that thinking about what is it that causes me to lose composure? And then make that thing not important enough to break your composure down. That's a good way. Like if people shark you and then that's how you lose your composure, then figure out a way to not get sharked. Create a mindset like I was talking about earlier. If I'm getting sharked, I'm not going to be mad at that person. I'm actually going to sympathize with them, because getting mad at that person just makes me lose my composure. That's not what I'm here for. I'm going to keep my composure. So a lot of techniques you use is you have to reframe things in a way to where it doesn't matter enough to bother you. You know, you have to figure out either through asking someone else how they deal with it, which is what you're doing, which I appreciate, or figure it out on your own self. As far as rhythm goes, there's really no such thing as rhythm, in my opinion. If your process is locked in, then you're going to do it with the same timing that you've done it prior. And if you don't have the ability to memorize your timing and your rhythm, so to speak, then you're not going to have it. It's just like playing a musical instrument. If you're playing a song, you have to do it a certain way, otherwise it's not in rhythm. But how did you learn how to do that? Well, it's practice. You have to practice the series of notes, series of movements in such a way that you have a step-by-step way that you do it, and it has to be where you can pick it up at any time and then go from there. And that you have to have a set starting point and a set ending point, or you have to be able to jump in. And I wouldn't say that being able to jump in at any point is really what you're doing with pool. I think pool is very simple as far as, you know, when you're down on the shot or you're standing at address, you're looking at your shot, that there's no rhythm to deciding how long it takes for like you to decide, oh, I need to do this or I need to do that. There's no rhythm for that. You thinking that you're going to be able to decide to be able to, oh, okay, I gotta shoot this shot. It's a foot from the hole and it's straight in and I just need to stop the ball. That doesn't take long to think about. Now, if you're on a ball and you're 2 inches from the rail and you got to elevate, withdraw, and then you got to draw the ball back 4 feet to get perfect position. If you think that you can shoot each of those shots and it takes the same amount of time to decide how to do it, then that's amazing. To me, it takes longer to decide what to do on certain shots than it does on others. And I think that's pretty easy to see even at the pro level, is that most shots that are routine. They happen kind of at the same pace. And that there are some shots that are outside of that routine, and those shots take a little bit more deliberation and time. And that with your thought process, the rhythm is not so much there, as you just have to keep yourself calm, and then you just let the shot reveal itself to you. Then once you've decided, okay, this is the best shot from all the options that are available, if it's not obvious, however long that takes is how long it takes. And I think that if you're trying to dictate how long it takes, that's how you throw yourself off. You're actually shooting before you're ready, and now you're throwing yourself off. So now when you're shooting routine shots, you should have your pre-shot routine dialed in enough to where it takes the same amount of time. For me, when I'm down on a shot, once I've decided, then I just move into the shot, get ready, and then I just hit the ball with the same routine every time. It doesn't matter what the shot is, because I've already decided how hard I'm going to hit the ball, where I'm going to cue, all the stuff. And now everything I'm doing is just verification of that activity. Now, some of the time, maybe you're, close to the rail. So now the shot, which was routine, if it was out here, because you can put your hand right here, which is what you want. Now you're here. Now you got to put your hand who knows where. Now all that stuff is like, well, if I'm trying to elevate and shoot a shot and I'm on bridge here, maybe I have to spend a little time to figure out what this is going to feel like and get back up and then come back down perfectly on that spot where I need to be. And then once I've done that, now this is all the same. You might have to verify longer if you're elevated, all that stuff, because the shot itself becomes a little bit less familiar. You have to wait until you feel like you're going to be able to do it. Or if you have no idea what's going to happen, then it's all good. You just shoot the shot like with the best that you know. If it's something you have no idea about, you have to do the reps. But as far as like keeping your composure, a lot of that has to do with knowing that the answer is going to come to you. You just have to stay in that moment where you're allowing the information to come in and that you're not blocking it through fear of some sort of negative consequence or whatever, and that you can't expect the answer to come as quickly as one answer to the next. They're not necessarily going to be, it doesn't happen that way to me, at least. Sometimes I know exactly what I'm about to do. It doesn't take that long. Sometimes it takes a long time. I know that's how I am. It doesn't make me lose my composure. Knowing that, it actually means like, oh, gives me more confidence. The longer it takes me to learn, to see what I need to do, the more confident I get that I'm going to do it. I don't feel like I have to shoot it quickly. I'm not trying to get through the moment. I'm trying to be successful in the moment. Sometimes that takes a little bit more diligence, if that makes sense. As far as your rhythm of your shot, that should be pretty static. It shouldn't be changing. Once in a while, like I said, if you're like cueing weird, or like you're leaning or whatever, you might have to like verify a little bit more diligently, might have to get back up. But if if you're practiced with that motion, it shouldn't be much different than your regular routine.